Hello there. What's going on, everybody? So listen, y'all know this is the last class of medical terminology. Okay. Uh, your capstone course is tomorrow. I believe it is in the morning. You guys look at my schedule and see when that class is. Okay. So we finished the pharmacology. Make sure you guys are going over the pharmacology that we did. Right now, we are in the last section, psychiatry. Okay. This is not a long section. We're going to definitely get through it within an hour. We're not going to do too much conversation on the books and registering for the class because I've got two classes after this. Those classes after this, one of them is how you register for the class. Okay, tell your friends, let them know, subscribe, and y'all need to watch the videos, okay? Watch the videos and give me a thumbs up. Watch the videos and give me a thumbs up. Okay, so the gist of this class being free is me getting people in this class. YouTube will eventually start paying me, and I can give you more. Okay, so that's the purpose of me trying to get everybody in the class. Not when you go, oh my God, the course is so cheap. It's cheap right now because I have a grant. The next phase of it is that I get enough people in this classroom and y'all are watching those videos so that YouTube can start paying me. Once YouTube start paying me, everything will be free. Okay, you have to get your people in my class. Okay, but right now I still have the course at $59. Okay. So tonight, again, this is your last course in medical terminology. Some of you who have missed a few classes, or maybe you couldn't get in on a Monday or a Friday or something like that, you can always archive the classes. If you go to the playlist, find the chat, study the chat with your books. So you can be on the same page as I am. As you guys can see in the front of my screen, I'm going to be putting tabs up there, and these tabs are informational for me to put there for you. I believe I have these links already below, but now I have the links on the side for you. Okay, so, and I just put this in there. I also just dropped a short with the consultations. So I do give consultations to people as it relates to their bill, their insurance bill, their expedition benefits. Why are they being overcharged? You guys see the thumbnail that I put up there in reference to consultation. So I definitely was happy about doing that in regards to somebody who was famous. I couldn't believe it. Some people need that consultation. So, if you have a family member or someone or anybody who is not familiar with their bill, they're being charged, they don't know what their HMO is, why I had PPO, why did they bill me? Let me know. Okay, give them my email. Look on my website. There's a $50 consultation fee on there, and I will be happy to talk to them about their bill. Okay, so and I'm just kind of dragging a little bit to see who's going to come into the classroom. And I know you guys like to kind of come in slowly, or you guys would like to archive. So that's fine. So again, make sure you have your books because we are going to finish this course. Tomorrow morning we are done. I'm going to do the capstone. What is the capstone, Ms. Lambert? Capstone is everything that we did in medical terminology. We're going to skip through. Okay, so the capstone class will be probably about 2 hours tomorrow. And that's because we're just capstoning what we did in the book. We are going to have our language of medicine book open, and we're going to capstone. So the coding class is going to start on Monday. I was going to kind of give you guys like a week break to kind of finish all the medical terminology. But I don't think the 3 classes are too bad that you did, that you can't add that in with the coding on Monday. Okay, so that means, especially if you have a schedule. If you go ahead and join Sapphire Academy so I can give you a schedule. I want to give you a schedule so that you can also be on track with the rest of the class. If you want to, you can. I'm going to put this up every now and then This class is after this session that we are doing now, and this is how you can pay for the Sapphire Physician Coding Academy right here in this chat. When you pay for this, if you purchase this while we are in this chat, as soon as we finish, I will send you what you need. Okay, you get a Sapphire Coding email. You get access to the Sapphire Academy. You and I do a one-on-one, and you also get the Language of Medicine ebook with this. Okay, and you also get the Medical Billing and Coding Q&A book as well. So if you click on that QR code, it's going to take you straight to my business PayPal, and you are going to be charged $59.99. Okay, and then I will admit you to the Academy. So let's go ahead and kind of, I'm going to take this down. I have a lot of things up here. Let's take this down. So we definitely want you to join in the Sapphire Academy, you guys. Okay, remember, the more people I get in this class, the more I can give you. If I can fill this class up and you guys are coming to this classroom, YouTube will start paying me. And then I can continue the $59.99. I won't even need any grants. Okay, so I need you guys to join the class. So I'm going to share my screen right now. So let's go ahead and share the Language of Medicine book. Let me just show you guys the cover of the book. Okay, and you guys can go to some of the other pages, other chats that I have, and look at those classes that are in there. If you come into the chat and you want me to go over something as far as the class and what we're learning, I'm going to do that anyway. As soon as I finish showing you this book, I'm going to go over what we're doing in the classroom. So this is the Language of Medicine book. This is the book that you will get with your class. This book is almost $100. Even if you get the older version, it's a little, it's a little more, it's a little pricey. But you can always go to thrift.com. You might can get it for $10 or $15. If you join the Sapphire Academy, this book is included with your course. You do not need to purchase this book. It's already in there. Okay. So if you go to Sapphire Academy, you can register there, or you can register right here and click this link, and you will be automatically taken to my business PayPal. Once you make a payment on that, this class is over. I will send you what you need. And you will also get a Sapphire Academy email to enter the Sapphire portal. So again, we just want to make sure that you're going to have everything that you need. So right now, I'm just going to pull up to some of the new people that we have in the classroom, some of the courses that we do have. We have 3 courses: Advanced, Transitional, and Basic. Basic is medical billing and medical terminology. Transitional is medical billing, medical terminology, ICD-10, and CPT and HCPCS. The advanced course has everything in it. Okay, you also get the CPC training, and you also get the advanced training on the coding. Okay, that's going to be that advanced course. So when you go in there, choose the advanced course, because that's $59.99, and it still gives you access to everything. It gives you access to everything. And see, I have students that work at the hospital, and they only need this. They only need billing and medical terminology. I have students that may only need this. So that's why we leave those 3 courses up there. But for YTU, you guys, when you get ready to register for my class, I want you to register for advanced. Anybody joining my class, register for advanced. I have students that just need a course. They need to just freshen themselves up. Oh, let me just look at Miss Lambert's coding class. I just need to brush up. I'm not really interacting with them. They're just buying a course, and that's it. Let me see if I have it up there. Let me go to the academy. This must be it right here. Okay, so I do have this still up. So you guys take a look at my website, and my website pretty much has everything in there for you. I just put it in the top of the screen. It doesn't show you what's in Sapphire Academy. We pretty much go over that in the classroom, but you can also pay for your cost of your class right there as well. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again. There we go. That's the book that we're going through. And we're pretty much done with this book. Okay, like I said, today is your last day of medical terminology. If you missed a few chats, you're going to have to look at the archive chats until we come around to the subject again. So this is how it goes. So we're not on that. I just put that by mistake. Coding is starting on Monday, right? Those of you who missed medical terminology, some of you may have missed your medical billing. Go to the playlist that says medical billing virtual course, medical billing and coding virtual course. Your courses are there. The courses are going to say ED, CLS MT, medical insurance billing 1, medical insurance billing 2, medical insurance billing 3, all the way to those 15 classes. Okay, so it took us 5 weeks to do the medical billing, right? It took us 7 weeks to do the medical terminology, right? The coding is double. Okay, so we're going to take about a good 12 weeks to do this coding session. Some of you may move a little faster, some of you may move a little slower. Remember, this is a beginner class, so I'm taking you from how do we do the coding to advanced. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do the class is you will be able to double up if you want to. So if I'm doing the 20,000 series and you want to do the 20,000 and the 30,000, you can go ahead and get a heads up on us and start doing it. Okay, because we're still, I'm going to do one at a time. Okay, because there are some people who are still not familiar with coding. So that's the reason why we have to do the coding step by step. Whether you are advanced or not, I have to do it step by step. Okay, because in this case, we have to make sure that you know how to choose those codes. Okay, we have to make sure that you know how to choose those codes. Now, I gave somebody a consultation in regards to a bill that they had received, right? And that consultation consisted of the biller, the coder chose the wrong codes. You cannot use a 99285, okay, and send the patient home with aspirin. To use a code like that, the patient must be admitted. That's a very severe code, okay? That's just a word from the wise of, making sure that you guys are coding correctly. All right. Of course, they're going to appeal that. Okay. And of course, if it was an insurance company wants to see what was the medical necessity for you to use that type of CAT scan, what to use that type of equipment, or the other, the other X-ray or the other charges that's on there. That's why we want to prevent the upcoding. Okay, that's it. Upcoding is when you use codes that's not necessary. Upcoding is when if you could use one code, you pick 5, or you choose the highest codes you can because you want to get paid from that. No, you have to do it by the rules, whether it's a self-pay patient or not. Okay, so some people don't know that. Okay, but I did a consultation this week with that. Okay, so these are your classes. Okay, and I'm just running through this. This is in all of our chats. You guys know I always pull this up to show people what's in the class. Okay, so everybody will know what's in the classroom, and for the new students that may want to get in on the classes. Like I said, this is a free course. Okay, you guys make sure you look at the chats and make sure you give Ms. Lambert a thumbs up. Okay, we got goals what we want to do with this class. Okay, because if we can get enough, I want this down. If we can get enough in this classroom, my goal is to give you the Sapphire portal, but I've got to have enough in this classroom. Okay, your fee will be paid by YouTube. Okay, then I can give you access without you even paying the $59. But that's probably next year sometime. But for right now, take advantage of the $59. Okay, so we are in chapter 22, Psychiatry. I'm going to put it up here. So those of you who are popping in and out, you should have your book. You don't need to stay in just as long as you're on the same page as us. I don't know what that is. It says 1. I guess I got a message over there. I got to check the message later. Okay, so Chapter 22, Psychiatry. So this is where we are. All right. So we'll be doing clinical symptoms, disorders, modalities, vocabulary, terminology, abbreviations, living with autism. We're definitely going to do that. We might be a minute because I'm reading that word for word. Okay, not exactly. Y'all know what I mean. Exercises and applications. Okay, so that is pretty much what we are going to look at right now. Okay, so the chapter goes for us. Okay, don't forget, this is the Language of Medicine, chapter 22. This is the book that you're going to use for my course. Okay, we're going to study psychiatrists, psychologists, and other mental health specialties. Okay, hi, Valerie. We are also going to describe some tests that they use in psychiatry. Okay, so just, some of you may decide to work at Bellevue or something like that, and you still need to code. They have coders for that, and you do need to know psychiatry in that case. Okay, define terms that describe for major psychiatric disorders, psychiatric symptoms. Compare different types of psychiatric disorders. Let me put this here so I could just kind of show you where we are. Okay, this is where I am. So if you have your book, you should be on my same page. If you have 2025, I'm on page 861. Okay, and you're going to apply your knowledge. Okay, I'm going to put this picture up. Y'all know I love to put these pictures up. Look at this picture. Isn't that beautiful? That is amazing. Now, even if you don't have my yearbook, it is the same thing on a different page. Okay, so let's just discuss the introduction really quickly. So this is where we are. Okay, and you guys can use your highlighter to whatever you want it to be. I'm on 862. Introduction. You will find this chapter different from others in the book. I guess the first thing we say is, why are they saying that this chapter is different from other chapters in the book? Many psychiatric disorders are not readily explainable in terms of abnormalities in the structure of chemistry of an organ or tissue, as are other illnesses. I guess it would be the same thing. I mean, you can't, it's hard to find an illness. It's hard to find, a reason for a problem when you can't figure out where the root is. And, CDC and psychiatrists, they're trying to find these things out. I mean, some of these things are unexplainable. They're just unexplainable. In addition, the causes of mental disorders are complex and include significant psychological and social, as well as chemical and structural elements. Now, when we talk about psychological, we're talking about the brain function. And some people who do have mental issues do not think they have mental issues. You see people that have mental issues, they think they are perfectly normal. And it's a brain imbalance somewhere in there. Your brain, did you guys see that when we did neurology? And they had these little places in your brain. This what tells you to eat. This what tells you to move your arm. This what tells you to think. And psychiatry, it tells you the same type of thing. That's why you can't tell a person that's a little off that they're a little off because they don't think they're a little off. The one thing that I don't understand is psychiatry. When people take medications for psychiatry, it seems like they get more off. Because now, I can't think of her name, but okay, she had the thyroid problem and she had the other issue, the issue with your eyes bulge. I can't think of the term for it right now. You guys got the term for that? Let me know. She's just off. Are you treating one thing, Wendy Williams? That's my girl. But I hate the fact that they're giving her all these different medicines. And how do you go from sick, non-mentally sick to mentally sick? I don't understand what they did to her. The last picture that we saw of Wendy, she looked good. Her eyes are not as bulging. It's in your book. Y'all know I got it on the tip of my tongue, that disease. But the psychiatric medicine that they're giving her, why does this have her like she's just off? She just, now she looks a little better. Okay. But okay, this chapter provides a simple outline of psychiatric disorders and definitions of major psychiatric terms. So yes, there will be a couple of terms in here that will relate to psychiatric conditions and some famous people's psychiatric conditions that they may have psychiatric conditions. I got one for you. What's the little boy's name that they found him and he had no clothes on, and he sang the cowboy song? I can't think of them and think of it. Now they had him charged with all these felonies and different things, and come to find out he was out of his mind when these things had happened. Nas. I just said, oh my God, what's going on? And you don't know who is depressed. You don't know who is in turmoil. When I saw little Nas out there like that, I said, oh my God, what happened to him? And the first thing I said, he can't be on drugs. This child cannot be on drugs. At the end of the day, he wasn't on drugs. His defiance to the police was a reaction to a chemical balance in his brain that he was not aware of. We're talking about Nas, y'all, that just came in. We just finished talking about Wendy Williams. We're talking about Nas because everybody thought he was on drugs. He was defiant against the police. He wanted to beat up the police. His brain had a chemical balance. So you guys watch that on TV and see what's going on with that, since we are in psychiatric, Okay, so for more extensive and detailed information, consult the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. No, we ain't doing that. We're just doing this for class. And it's not like AAPC is not going to have a million questions on psychiatry. You might get some, but one or two or something like that. But this is for informational purposes, okay? So in psychiatry, psychiatric treatment is the branch of medicine that deals with the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of mental illness. We're talking about psychiatry, okay? It is a specialty of clinical medicine like surgery, internal medicine, pediatrics, and obstetricians. Now, this is where you're going to see that at. It'll probably be more in your medicine section of your CPT book. You will see psychiatry there. Your medicine section is yay big. In the back of your CPT, okay? If some of you do have your CPT book, scroll through your CPT book because that's where you're going to see some of the psychiatric stuff in there at the back of your CPT book. Hi, how are you? So, some of you that just came in, we're just talking about psychiatry, and we'll just kind of give you a definition of the psychiatric patient or something like that. It is a branch of medicine that deals with the diagnosis and treatment and prevention of mental illness. And we were talking about the CPT in the back of the book. If you have your book, go over that because that's where you're going to see that coding at. Okay, psychiatrists completed the same medical training. Now, this is something that might be on your test. I've seen where they want to know what type of training a doctor does have, or does this doctor have the same training as this doctor? This is it right here. I'm going to show you right here because that sounds like something funky-ish that might be on that. So I'm right here, okay? I'm right here. We're talking about psychiatry. So if you got your book, you're going to be on a different page than me. I'm on page 862, unless you have the 2025 ebook. And I've got the email already that we've got the 2026 already. So I don't plan on switching, but I'm going to go ahead and get those books for you all. Okay, well, for the class. Okay, okay, so let's move on. This is weird right here. Psychiatrists complete the same training, 4 years of medical school. Okay, that's in parentheses, but I'm just saying it anyway. As other physicians and receive an MD. What is an MD? What is an MD? It's just backwards. What is an MD? Doctor of medicine, medicine doctor, or an OD, doctor of osteopathy. Okay, degree. They're just saying that they do the same schooling as they do. Okay. Then they spend a variable number of years. I met somebody on my Instagram yesterday. She's 44 and she's just now starting to be a doctor, and she's okay with it. She said she'll be done by the time she gets 55. I think that's amazing. Okay, they spend a variable amount of years training in the method and practice of psychotherapy. Okay. As a matter of fact, I think one of our good friends, I think he's a psychiatrist. I got his name on the tip of my tongue, y'all. My son's dad's friend, they live on the block. What is his name? I don't know what his name is, but he's a real psychiatrist. Okay. We're so proud of him. I mean, we were all young. Everybody was going to school. We were all little. And he went for psychiatrist. What is his name? He is a doctor. He is a psychiatrist. Okay, so I'll think of it as I go down the line, because I'm gonna think of it when I'm not thinking about him. But yes, he is a psychiatrist. I'm on page 862, y'all. So we talked about psychiatry. We talked about what it is. We talked about it is a disorder. Okay. We talked about what type of schooling psychiatrists go to, just like the doctors of medicine and the ODs, doctor of osteopathy. Okay. Now we're just kind of going down to psychopharmacology, drug therapy. So you guys, some of these words I want you to get down, okay? The words that are in bold, as you're in your book, those words that are in bold, I want you guys to go ahead and get some of those words down. Put them on your index cards, okay? Put them on your index cards. A psychologist is a non-medical professional who is trained in methods of psychological testing, psychotherapy, and research. Psychologists complete a Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Okay, that's what PhD is. Or a Doctor of Psychology, PSYD. Yes, yeah, I want you to get those down, okay? Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Doctor of Psychology, PSYD, degree program in specific field of interest, such as clinical psychology. Yes, this is also pertaining to experimental research, okay? Also in social psychology. Get down social psychology as well, and put them on, put them on index cards. I'm gonna show you where I'm at. Make sure you put them on index cards. Here I am right here, okay? So, again, you guys can always archive this chat. Okay. I think it's chat 22. Is it 22? No, it's 21. Okay. 22 is tomorrow. That's your last chat. Okay. So we did do an extra chat. We should have been finished at 21. Okay. So again, I'm on page 862. So there's a lot of definitions here for you. Just make sure you get them down and make sure you guys finish reading this for your homework. Okay, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I think in this little reading right here that will be on your test. No, but I still want you to do that. Okay, psychiatric clinical symptoms. This is where I'm at right now. Okay, so amnesia, loss of memory. We talked about that before. Anxiety. Okay, anxiety. Maybe you have someone in your family. Maybe you know someone with anxiety. Varying degrees of uneasiness. Apprehension or dread, often accompanied by palpitations, tightness in the chest, just nervousness, apathy. Okay, that one I want you to get down. APATHY, apathy. Absence of emotions, lack of interest, emotional involvement or motivation. Now, amnesia and anxiety, I know you know. The other one that I just gave you might be a little funky. Okay, so that's why I want you to get that down to make sure you remember that. Do you know anybody that's like motionless and like, no matter what you do, they don't care. Just, I'm not saying a person like that, that I know, but I have seen things like this. Did you guys see? I know I'm on Twitter all the time. They had a puppy on it. They thought the puppy was blind because he wasn't paying them any attention. But the puppy technically was just, ignoring the whole family. And I think I believe that. He had no feeling of whatsoever. They would tickle him. They would, yeah. And he'd just sit there and look at him. No emotion whatsoever. Now, when you look here, what does it say? Apathy, absence of emotion, lack of interest. That's what's wrong with the dog. Okay? Compulsion. my brother. Compulsion, uncontrollable urge to perform an act repeatedly in an attempt to reduce anxiety. Okay, you run there cleaning up all day. You got compulsions, or you run there cleaning up stuff that you run there cleaning up stuff that don't need cleaning. Or you run and you just back and forth. When you start feeling like you got that compulsive disorder, okay, ain't nothing like compulsive shopping. Okay, your brain is making you do something that you probably self-conscious don't know you're doing. You got compulsive shopping, you know what you're doing. Okay. So, just be precarious of that. And that's what that you guys might know. Conversion anxiety becomes a bodily symptom, such as blindness, death, or paralysis that does not have a physical basis. Conversion, get that one down, because that's going to be one that you probably never heard of. Dysphoria, intense feeling of depression, discontent, and generalized dissatisfaction with life. You just complain about everything. I don't care what you do. Whatever you do, you complain about this, complain about that. Even if it's something, no, I don't want that. I want something else, And it's not like, we're not going to say it's like, let's say getting married, your husband wants to get this ring for you, and you want another one. And let me tell you something that happened to me. And I didn't realize that, Kevin would, he would be so hurt. I didn't want the ring that he got me. I didn't like it, period. I didn't like it. I didn't like where the store he got it from. And I insisted that I get my ring from a different jewelry store. And he did. But at that time, I didn't even care. It's what I want. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I'm like, and he's going, well, where you want to get the ring at? You don't want it? That's him. And I didn't even care. But now I look back on it, I go, is that some kind of mental thing I have where I'm just never satisfied? And, he took me and we got the ring that I wanted. And then I started feeling bad. And I was like, maybe I should have just let him just get me, that ring. But I done bought me two since then. So, I'm still, and it could be a little mental thing there. No, I just didn't want it. I wanted the one that I want, but I still bad to this day. That I didn't want the engagement ring that he gave me all those years ago. Okay, so euphoria, intense feeling of well-being, elation, happiness, excitement, and joy. You're just happy all the time. I'm trying. What do they have these under? Psychiatric clinical symptoms. The following terms describe abnormalities that are evident to an examining mental health professional. Familiarity with these terms will help you understand the next section. So some of the stuff that's in here, I hope you guys are following me on page 863. Some of this in here in the psychiatric part, do some of us act like that? I mean, some of us, let me put it up there. Some of y'all that came in late, just like the thing with, my fiance years ago, I told y'all about the ring. Is it that you guys are just not satisfied? Is it a mental thing? Do you guys are coming across with an issue that you have no idea that it's mental? Of course not, okay? Delusion, fixed false belief that cannot be changed by logical reason or evidence. This is no matter what you tell somebody, they right no matter what. I don't care if you preach a million times. So people like that. And what are they describing it as? Delusional. It's delusional. It is a real sickness. When you're trying to tell somebody something that's right, and they're constantly telling you something that they think is right, and you and 25 other people know it's right, and they're saying the wrong thing, it's delusional. It is delusional, okay? We did hallucination, false or unreal sensation, perception, as for example, hearing voice when none are present, hallucination. An illusion is a misconception. Okay, misperception of an actual sensory stimulus, such as hearing voices and the sound of rustling leaves. And you know what? After several people that I know who have got the third shot. When we had COVID, you have a ringing in your ear. There's a ringing in your ear, because after I got my third shot, I had a ringing in my ear for a whole year. Okay, it's still on and off. I'm not the only one who had that. That third shot triggered off something. I ain't down in the shots now. I'm not down in the shots, but I think that the COVID shots triggered off a couple of things in people. Okay, when they probably wasn't even going to get COVID anyway, and some of them may not have gotten COVID as worse. So the ones that were definitely sick and something wrong, I hope that they got the shot. Unfortunately, there are a lot that didn't and passed. I'm not saying I'm anti-shot. I'm not saying I'm for shot. I'm saying that I wish I had not got the third shot. I got the 2 Pfizers because they mandated us to get them at the hospital. We had to do it. And here they go talking about a third one. So what happened? I was off. I had 2 days to get my shot. I went to CVS and then I got the Moderna. So I had my 2 shots of the Pfizer. No problem. And my boss questions, Lisa, did you get your shot? It was too late for me to schedule for the Pfizer. So I had to go to CVS to get the Moderna. What happened? I broke out in rash all around my face, all of my mouth, and I was devastated. 2 days later, my ear starts ringing. 2 days later, my ear still rings every now and then. It sounds like waves. It sounds like, I think it's just this ear. First, it started off as a drip. As soon as I took that shot. So, I don't know what type of side effects you guys had out of that shot. And here they're saying if you have ringing in your ear, it's hallucination. False or unreal. Maybe the shot done made me start hallucinating, stuff ringing in my ear. False or unreal sensory perception, as, for example, hearing voice. Well, it's not voices. Hearing voices when none are present. And illusional is a misperception of an actual sensory stimulus, such as hearing voices in the method of rustling waves. So that was a story, with the COVID. Okay. Liable, variable on undergoing rapid emotional change, mania, elevated, euphoric state with racing thoughts, talkative and hyperactively. I'm going to start. I'm going right now. Move. Leave me alone. That's just an example of somebody, something like that. Where is it at? Mania, we would say agitated. Like you would see somebody and they just touch you, they just jet you all the time, and they just straight agitated. Okay, so some of these things on here: paranoia, obsession, mutism, no or very little ability to speak. Mutism, no or very little to speak. You would know what that is because mutism, as it relates to mute. Some children start later than others. Some children start walking later than others. Some children start talking later than others, but eventually they do. Obsession, involuntary, persistent idea or emotion. The suffix mania indicates a strong obsession with something. Okay. Paranoia. The words that I'm telling you right now, I want you to get them down. Okay. Overly suspicious. System of thinking. What's my show I watch? It's like a woman's show. I can't think of it, but I know it's terrible. But I look at this show for not for the killings, not for the murders. I know my cousin Sharon. Yeah, I'm mentioning you. Sharon used to say, you looking at all them murders and stuff like that, all them demons and stuff. I look at stuff like that because of the after effect, because of the autopsy I know they're getting ready to do on this patient. And it helps me to retain some of the medical terms that I need to do. So that's the reason why I watch these type of shows. I watch Botch so I can hear some of these medical terms. And you should too. I watch Dr. Now. I love Dr. Now. I don't even care about the weight, but I watch Dr. Now and all of the other weight shows because I can hear the medical terms of what they are doing. And you do the same thing. I have a chat in there where this is why I use these type of things. The show Autopsy. I love the show Autopsy. No, Sharon, not because they're killing or they died, because it is educational to me. Yeah, I know I'm educational crazy. It's educational to me. And I like when the doctor starts talking these big words and he gives a reason why the celebrity died. He talks about drugs. He talks about pharmacology. He talks about surgical procedures. He talks about how a person passed. And yes, for a lot of your surgical departments that you're going to be doing in your study, I want y'all to do the same thing. Okay, I want y'all to do the same thing. Find some shows on TV that is going to help you. Okay, find some shows on TV that's going to help you with this class right here. Okay, I know I don't need to do a class for 2 or 3 hours. Okay, this is a self-study class. Remember, this is online training. Online training is generally self-training. Do Ms. Lambert give you more? Yes, she does. Okay, so okay, let's go back. So paranoia, we did that. Overly suspicious system of thinking, fixed delusion that one is being harassed, persecuted, or unfairly treated. I don't, when I see people like that, I don't call it paranoia. They tell the truth. Somebody following you, all right? This is just a sample picture of, let me see, sample picture from the thematic appreciation test. The patient is asked to tell the story that the picture illustrates. Psychological New York. To me, this is paranoia. I'm going to show y'all this. I mean, you can pick which one you want or what you think it is, but out of all of those terms that we went over, I want you to make sure that you study them. The psychiatric disorders, sigmoid fugues, ideas of personality structure, plan, appointment, role, and many of types of psychiatric order. So you're going to study ego. Get this down. Ego. It's the central coordination branch of personality. Okay, get down. Super ego is the internalized conscious and moral part of personality. Okay, get down. Defense mechanism such as repression and denial are techniques people use to ward off anxiety produced by these conflicts. Okay, get this down. Psychosis. The term psychosis frequently is used to describe abnormal condition where there has been loss of contact with reality. Psychosis. Okay, get that down, all right? Psychotic disorder. You look up the meaning for that. I'm not going to give you all of them. Delusion. We just went over some of that. Okay, I want you to make sure you got these words down. Why, Ms. Lambert? Because they may be on your test. Okay, anxiety. Anxiety disorder are characterized by the experience of unpleasant tension, distress, troubled feelings, and avoidance behavior. A panic attack. A panic attack is an abrupt surge of intense fear or discomfort that reaches a peak within minutes. Boom! Symptoms and clinical signs may include palpitation, sweating, trembling, feeling of choking, chest pain, nausea, feeling dizzy, feeling unreality, feeling loss of control, fear of denial, and numbness and tingling. So you guys can see that this class is very interesting. And whether some of these symptoms have anything to do with you, you may be in a hospital, you may work in a nursing home, you are familiar with some of these symptoms. When we first started and I was working on the floor, we had a patient that he just walked right out the hospital, which I still don't even see how that was possible. I think he was one of my patients. He was on my side. I think I was at the other end, but I don't even know. But I remember the patient being on my side. But this dude he needed to be on a mental floor. He didn't need to be on a regular floor, but you don't know, what to do with a mental patient if you are not trained to work with mental patients. Now, I know CNAs, they can do different floors and they do different work and different types of facilities. But I think one of my best friends, my sister, not my sister. She used to live around the corner. Her mother was a nurse, and she worked in the mental hospital. I don't know how she did it. I'm telling you, I'd be cracking up all day at these people. But her mother was, she retired, and I remember when she went to school, and she became a nurse, and she retired, and I don't think I could do it. I'm telling you, I don't think I can do it. Because y'all know me, I be in there silly laughing or something. He came in and banged me upside the head. So I can't work in a mental facility. But if you choose to code for a mental facility, know that you're going to have the same codes repetitious. You see all of these things that we just talked about in here. I got 15 minutes. All of these things that we just talked about in here will be useful to you. So please make sure you read chapter 22. Okay, I'm not letting you go yet. We still got 15 minutes. Okay, so you guys are going to read this chapter. Generalized anxiety disorder is characterized by chronic anxiety and exaggerated worry and tension, even when there is little or nothing to provide such feeling. That's every mother. Okay, that's every mother. My son moved to Dallas. I think I was going nuts for about a month. And then I just started oh Lord. And then I said, you know what, I got to go down there. But he's fine. And again, that's every mother with the GAD. Okay, panic disorder is recurrent, unexpected panic attacks and persistent concerns. We just did that. Phobic disorders are characterized by irrational or debilitating fears. Okay, this one I want to make sure that you get down. Aragophobia. Okay. Aragophobia. That's how it says. Okay. I want you to look that up. I'm gonna give you fear of being open, crowded public places from which escape would be difficult is called. Let me see if I can do it right, because that ain't how you say it. It's agoraphobia. Y'all got it? Agoraphobia. I know y'all can pronounce it better than me, but this is how they split it up. Agora, and then they say phobia. Okay. Make sure that you put that on the index card, because that sounds like something funky that's going to be on the test, okay? Limit their normal activities to avoid situations that trigger their anxiety. Social anxiety disorder. I can't wait. I'm trying to rush down so we can get to PTSD. Social anxiety disorder. Anybody know anybody like that? Social anxiety disorder. Let me show you right here. So you guys should be on the same page that I'm on. This is where I'm at. And those are the words that you should be getting down. Okay. Social anxiety disorder is the fear of situations in which the affected person is open to public scrutiny, which could result in possible embarrassment and humiliation. Example, the fear may focus on speaking in public, using public lavatories, or eating in public. All right. This is the one that I want you to make sure that you get down. Okay. In addition to a few more. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Test. Okay, social anxiety. Test. Acrophobia. Test. Claustrophobia. Test. Agoraphobia. Test. Okay, anxiety. Test. You hear me saying that? You hear me saying test? I want you to study that. Panic disorder. Test. Okay, psychosis, test. Okay, all of those words that I just gave you before that, test. I'm not going to go through them. Y'all going to study them. That's what y'all doing. Obsession, paranoia, dysphoria, europia, hallucination, test. Okay, very important. Okay, make sure you guys go over that. Okay, so now we're on post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. It's the development of symptoms. This is in parentheses. Intense fear, helplessness, insomnia, nightmares, and diminished responsiveness to the external world, parentheses. Following exposure to a traumatic event, flashbacks, military, bothersome thoughts, and anxiety, trauma, often triggered by reminders, occur in episodes of long after a life-threatening or major emotional event. You don't forget. You are traumatized. People avoid situations with reminders. Many survivors of the September 11th attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon experienced PTSD. Now, that's a lot of people experiencing PTSD. Military people also experience PTSD. I've experienced people firsthand with PTSD, and some people can control it, but when they get to that point, they cannot control it. I talk about people that I have encountered with PTSD, and also one of my students had PTSD. This was years ago, not a new student, okay? And he handled it the best way he could. He did his work. He didn't finish my class, but he tried. He tried to finish the class. He had other personal issues with his daughter. So, but to say people with PTSD, they just can't get right. They can't get right. That's not true. Some people with PTSD are able to control that with the help of psychologists, the help of people talking to them. I know a person firsthand, which I've never seen this before, but I met a person. He's in the military almost 30 years, and he has a tendency to talk very loud. We actually went out to dinner when I came to Georgia one time, this many years ago, and he's like loud, and I'm going like, is he talking to me and everybody else, or I couldn't get it. I didn't understand it. And he told me, he said it's because of, bombs going off in his ears. He's trying to talk to his soldiers. He's trying to talk to so-and-so. So, and his mind, he talks loud like that. And my thing was, wow. I mean, you should saw everybody in the restaurant looking at us like, and looking at me like, what's wrong with him? I don't know. He's like a young time friend that we've known each other for years, but yeah, that's a mental thing. But guess what? He's one of the smartest PTSD people I know. He took his test. He examined his contractor thingy, whatever. He has his own business now. He controls it. Okay, so the PTSD did not make him feel like he's going to jump off the roof or like it feel like he's going to. No, it doesn't affect everybody like that. It affects people in different ways. And I think that his PTSD affected him in a way because it's still neurological. Him talking loud like that, yo, hey, what up? And you standing right by, even if he say, hey, how you doing? It's loud. It's 10 times louder than yours. It's psychological. If he gets help for that, trust me, I guarantee you it could work. You guys know anybody like that? Let me know if you know somebody like that. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder. This class is going over. What time is it? Oh my God, we got 8 minutes. I might have to do this a second part of this class. Y'all know I got to do this word for word because I'm not reading it word for word. Y'all gonna read for word. I'm just giving you what I want you to do. Bipolar disorder, okay, are characterized by one or more manic episodes alternating with depressive episodes. A manic episode is a period during which the predominant mood is excessively elevated. Euphoria, that's up there already. Expansive or irritable. Okay, we know somebody like that. Okay, especially children, they don't get what they want. They're gonna act out. Okay, hypomania. Okay, get that word down. Okay, I'm not gonna read everything. Bipolar disorder 1. Look that up. Bipolar disorder 1. Okay, bipolar disorder 2. Look that up. Okay. No, I'm not gonna give it to you. You're gonna get that one. I'm on page 865. Okay, write that on the index cards. Okay, depressive disorders are marked by the occurrence of one or more major depressive episodes without a history of mania or hypomania. I just gave you those words. Okay, major depressive order, dysphoria. Get that down. Sadness, hopelessness, worry, discouragement. So if you know somebody like that, children or kids like that, try to look back and see if you can find somebody like that. That somebody's always sad, what's wrong? You have to be careful with that. That depression start kicking in, and you see somebody that's acting like that. Trust me, what we learned in the medical terminology class is very informative. You may know somebody like that, and you may want to know. Okay, so definitely when you guys are doing your reading after this class, you're going to read the same chapter that I'm reading right now because it will help you to retain it more. Okay, major depressive disorder, dysphoria. Okay, make sure you guys get those down. Okay, let me see what this is. This is referred to as seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal as in mood disorder. SAD. I don't think that's going to be on the exam, but you guys go ahead and get that down now. Okay. Dissociative disorder are conditions involving breakdown in memory, identity, and perception. You guys can get that down. It doesn't sound like to me something that's going to be on a test, but get that down. Eating disorders. Eating disorders are severe disturbance in eating behavior. Examples are anorexia, So anorexia nervosa and bulimia is psychological. And of course it is. Just like when you're taking Ozempic and stuff, they put you in a psychological trance and you're not to eat. It's all psychological because when you take a shot of Ozempic, you ain't trying to look at no food. I'm not telling you this because somebody told me. When I first started taking Ozempic, my favorite food is Red Lobster. I went out and treated myself after I came from work one day. And they brought me my favorite food. I was by myself. I ain't even need nobody with me. And I couldn't eat it. It was like, in my mind was like, don't touch that food. And you know how I am. I'm gonna eat a whole bag of candy before I even eat any chicken or fish or anything. Yeah, that's my problem. And the thing about it is, when you do take Ozempic and any type of weight loss medicine, it's all mind gaming. It's all mind gaming. It's all mind game. The Ozempic, you're not eating nothing. Your brain is saying you're not eating it. My favorite Red Lobsters, I couldn't touch one. It was just disgusting. I was like, I'm not eating that. I can't. I mean, $60 meal they brought me. And that was my favorite Red Lobster. And because in my mind, from me taking the Ozempic, it's already in my system. I can't do it. When I used to get my acupuncture in my ears, it's psychological. I didn't drink coffee at all. I don't have time to hardly take care of it. When I was over there in CT, I lost about 60 pounds. And I had that gilly looking face. So I had to put some of the weight back on. But I put a little too much back on, but we can ready to take that off. I'm trying to do it without the shot. I got 2 boxes in the refrigerator. And my kids don't like me to take the shot. But the shot is the only thing that works. I went out and I had the coconut cake. In my mind, I'm eating this cake. I didn't even eat the chicken. I'm eating this cake. My bestie Norma, she knows. She if y'all make Lisa some food, Lisa's about to eat that cake first. She gonna eat the strawberries and the chocolate, and she ain't even gonna eat no food. In my mind, that's what I want. I don't want no food. But when I take the shot, I'm more controlled. When I take the Ozempic, I'm more controlled. But you don't eat anything in Ozempic. You're not eating. I'm not eating. When I get the acupuncture, my neurological thinking says you don't want coffee, and I don't drink coffee. I'm a not chronic like that, but I drink coffee every single day, and it's all psychological because you can't control yourself. I can't control myself from not drinking coffee. I can't control myself from not eating candy. Forget about it. And my sister tell you, if she buys some cake, she better not put it out because by the time she get to sleep, I can't wait till she go to sleep because I'm going in there and get the cake. You see? So, the GLP shots and all of that, that's all psychological. It's all psychological. The bupirin, psychological. A lot of people are prescribed bupirin for like depression and stuff like that. But bupirin is it's a lost weight drug. Bupirin is a lost weight drug. They give you that with the rest of the drugs. They give you bupirin even after you have a weight loss surgery. When I first started with my Ozempic or my Wegovy, whichever one, they give me bupirin. The bupirin, you're not eating nothing. You're not eating nothing. You take that bupirin, you sit there looking crazy, but you ain't eating nothing. And I mean, a doctor was to prescribe it to you. You tell a doctor you want to lose weight, they're going to try to help you the best way they can. You don't have side effects from it, but the bupirin, you be sitting there, but you're going to lose weight from it. Okay, so with the Ozempic and the acupuncture and also the bupirin, I had to lose about 70 pounds. I had to lose about 70 pounds, but I was scary looking. I was like, wait a minute. Why my face look like that? Look like I'm about to go off. I look like I just came from, oh no, I'm sorry. I'd rather put some weight back on myself than to have me look like that. So yes, it's all psychological. Okay, so let's run down. We almost finished. Okay, so anorexia nervosa, bulimia. Okay, bulimia nervosa, bulimia means abnormal increase in hunger. So make sure you do not mix up bulimia and anorexia. Okay, get those down. So we're already an hour in. We're gonna have to have another class on this. So I'm gonna switch up those classes because I don't want to shortchange y'all on this. I want to get through this whole thing. Let me see what's in here. Oh no, we didn't even get to autism yet. Oh no. Okay, so I'm gonna put so this has to be another class. Because at 7 o'clock, I've got to start the other class, okay? So I'm gonna dead this and I gotta jump into the other class. I have to do the autism. So in this psychiatry class, I have to do the autism. So we've gotta do a second session of this. In about 5 minutes, I'm getting ready to jump back in because I got another class to do for y'all, okay? So y'all come and get me when I'm do this next class, okay? The next class is about registering for Sapphire Academy, okay?